I'd like to call to order the Hatfield Township Board of Commissioners Workshop Meeting for October 10, 2018. Roll call.
President Zipfel.
Here.
Vice President Hughes.
Here.
Commissioner Andrus.
Here.
Commissioner Rogers.
Here.
Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
A couple of special events tonight, and the first one is honoring a retired police officer, Pat Hanrahan, who I think everyone in the room knows. And as a part of that, I would like to ask, I think his family is here. I believe Jen, Pat, and Brittany are all here. I'd ask if you'd lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. It's really simple. All you got to do is stand up and say, "I pledge," and we all follow. All right, we're going to handle a couple of housekeeping items before we get to that item. But first issue is there a motion for approval of tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Rogers.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Thomas. All in favor of approving tonight's agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that agenda is approved, or the one that you're looking at and the one we have before us. Citizens' comments. Are there any citizens' comments on agenda items? No. All right, I don't see anyone, so we're going to move on to our consent items. Is there a motion to enter into the record the consent items listed in your agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Andrews, second by Commissioner Rogers. Those consent items include the engineer's report for the month of September, the police report for the month of September, the Park and Recreation Board minutes of September 10, the Calmer Fire Company monthly report for the month of August, the HTMA monthly budget report for the month of August, and the HTMA meeting minutes for August 14th, 2018. With that, I'll call the question. All in favor of moving those into the record, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, those are moved into the record. Okay, what most of us are here about is the two special items. I'm going to hand the ball over to Chief with regard to recognition of Corporal Pat Hanrahan's retirement. Chief? I will absolutely join you.
Got your flowers again? The other 14 times it was roses. This time we went with daisies. We're running out of money for all the festivities. But.
I want to thank you, but I don't.
Before we start, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You'll see the officers with pink badges. We're wearing these for the month. Give early and often to whoever you can to help out with that cause. And any breast cancer survivor who lives in the township comes in, we're going to give a patch to. Thanks to the members of our PBA who purchased the patches, so thank you guys.
I'm here. Do you need help?
As I already said, this is about the 400th event in Pat's year-and-a-half-long farewell to the township. Plaque before, but his son pointed out that it was wrong, so we had to correct it. Now we're going to give it to him again.
Can you check it out? Thank you.
But some things about Pat. We always like to reflect back on a man's career. Pat started here in 1987, 2 years after me. Pat has been a squad supervisor, a detective, corporal, hostage negotiator for the tactical response team, public information officer, photography unit member, bicycle unit member, an entry team member on the tactical team, a canine officer, member of the DUI task force, a member of the Montgomery County Drug Task Force, and he was the Safe Schools representative for the school district. So at this point, I have no idea how we're going to continue, Pat, because you have done everything that we could possibly do. But
I'm available as a contract employee.
I'd really like to try to throw in a couple stories about Pat's time with me when we were both patrolmen, but I can't be sure that the statute of limitations has run out on that, so I'm probably going to keep that to myself. A couple nice things about Pat. Pat, his most important role was an ambassador to Hatfield. I could say as far as being a respected voice and face of this department and projecting himself out into the community, There was none better. Not during my career, not a one. Pat was the best at that. Pat always wears Hatfield on his sleeve, even now that he's gone. Even though I think you're still getting a check, right?
I am. I am.
But Pat was very proud to be an officer. And I think 20 years from now, Pat will still be singing the praises of his time here in Hatfield. He valued us as much as we valued him. Many of our newer officers have actually been mentored by Pat. Brian, you're probably afraid to say that, but now Pat has brought Pat's fingerprints remain on this police department. Many people have come and gone, but Pat will remain even in his absence. He always got things done. He always had a lot of questions, and he always called me at the most inopportune time. If I was painting a ceiling, my phone rang, it was Pat. If I was digging a ditch, phone rang, it was Pat. I'm taking a bath, it's Pat. Pat would always call, and I was like, this stinking guy. But it was always over something that was important to him and important to the department. So as much as I complained, it was always welcomed. In the end, Pat will be greatly missed. He's been a good friend and a great officer. The Hatfield community was lucky to have such a dedicated officer like Pat. So all the best to you, Pat.
I appreciate it.
Okay, so those of you who were at one of Pat's earlier ascending aways we joked around. It was a little bit of a roast, but on behalf of the commissioners, I'll try and keep it a little serious tonight. Tonight is our public thank you to Pat for all the years of service. And so everyone in this room tonight is here not just to honor you, but because they love you.
Thank you.
Okay? And obviously your family does. We know that. I've known Jen for many years. I met the kids again and again. I know the people in this room. I know the officers in this room. Again, they're not here because they're just colleagues. It's because they're here in honor of you. And so that's what tonight is about. And it's not just about the times when something big happened. I said that earlier at another event that Pat was at. It's the small things that he did for all of the years that he was a police officer here in Hatfield. It's the million little things that none of us ever saw. The people in this room never saw. It's the people out there who he took care of, he kept safe, he consoled when there was a problem. It's all of those moments that we're honoring tonight. Not just you, but everything that you did during that time frame. Personally, I will tell you that Pat's going to live with my family. He is a legend in my family because more recently, after the loss of my dad, Pat did something very special that was very special to my mom and my brothers and me, and it's something that we talk about often, and so it's just it demonstrates his character. He did it without thinking, and it was just at a time when we needed it and when we needed him. And just earlier today, I was thinking, that's what you've done for all those years. At that moment, you did that for me, but you've really been doing this for everyone in Hatfield for so many years. So we want to thank you, and tonight is just our small token of appreciation. I just whispered to Chief, this is the first retirement badge that I've ever given. And I'm kind of pleased, and we're not happy that you're leaving, but I'm kind of pleased that I'm giving it to you because I've known Pat for many years, and he is a fantastic guy. Brian, you have big shoes to fill, so we'll talk about welcoming you to our family in just a few minutes. But here's the person to be, here's the person to follow. And so, Pat, on behalf of Hatfield Township, not just the Board of Commissioners, not just the staff, but for every resident, for every person who you helped, for the million little things that you did, congratulations. You really earned this. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Number one, I know you guys know I don't like to speak, or I don't speak very well. No. You're grounded. Number one, I'd like to thank everybody here tonight in the room and everybody that's not here. I'd like to thank the public officials, the commissioners, everybody that makes the township run, from Public Works, Parks and Rec to fellow officers. My last shift was August 24th. People ask me what I miss. I don't miss the 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't miss the same call at the same house that we've been to 1,000 times. What I miss are the people, the community, the coworkers, the camaraderie, the friendships, and the people that make law enforcement proud to serve. I'll always be a Hatfield Township police officer deep down. There's a lot of other retired officers that feel that same way. Some of them show it more than others. One of my first training officers is here tonight, Ed Tarter, and you know, maybe he's a thorn in your side at some of the meetings, but we'll see if we can rein him in a little bit. But it just, and I know I had to talk with Ed ahead of time. It's something that you are born with. You bleed the thin blue line, but it's for the team, it's for the community, and we're here to serve, we're here to protect. But again, we're all one. So I want to thank everybody for that. My family for not signing up for this, living with me in the good, bad, and indifferent. I appreciate it. My mom and dad, my mom who has passed, I know she's looking down. I don't know if she wanted me to be a police officer, probably not. But you know, I know I got my legacy from my parents. So I appreciate everybody tonight. Thank you.
Everybody, this is Mr. Hanrahan. This is the Pat that we're truly going to miss. More so than Pat. This is one of the finest human beings anyone will ever meet. You're a good man.
Thank you, Chief.
And thank you for your son.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, don't leave yet, because I would be remiss if I didn't thank Jen and the kids, because I forgot to do this the last time, but I'm going to remember to do it now, albeit a little bit late. You know, it's probably not the most explanative way of putting it, but Pat's not the only police officer on duty when he walks out the door. Here's the rest of the family. They're police officers too, because when he goes, they go. Their heart goes, everything, their schedule gets changed. When he wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning, they know it. When he can't go someplace, they can't, you know, they have to adjust. Their lives have been adjusted around him and his, for the benefit of us. But really, I forgot to mention it before, but please don't think for a second that we don't thank all three of you, because we understand the sacrifice that you gave up for, you know, giving us your dad all those years. So thank you very much.
Oh, get a picture, Pat? Can you guys get up front? All right, next up, we have the swearing in of Patrol Officer Brian McLaughlin. Brian, can you come up with your wife and your daughter? I'd like to introduce the Honorable District Judge Ed Levin, who's here for the ceremonies. Brian's wife Stephanie and their daughter Blake.
Out on her face, Chief. Got to watch it.
A little Hatfield connection. Brian's wife, Stephanie, was actually an intern for Hatfield Township under our past manager, Stephanie Tioli, so we do have a history with her. A little information about Brian. As I already said, he's married to Stephanie. I have their little daughter, Blake, here. Brian is a 2008 graduate of Rowan University, where he earned a BA in criminal justice. Brian previously worked at the Delaware County Prison, where he attained the rank of lieutenant. He also was employed as a police officer with the Newcastle County Police Department prior to joining HCPD. Brian brings an extensive training record to HCPD to include being a PA State Firearms Instructor, OC Instructor, Less Lethal Instructor, and Alert Certified Active Shooter Instructor. So we welcome Brian and his family to Hatfield. And Brian, I hope 30 years from now, whoever's the chief at that point's wishing you well like we have Pat Hanrahan tonight.
Thank you.
So, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
So it's ironic that we are retiring one of our best police officers ever, and we're bringing in a new recruit, a new addition to our family. And so, and no offense, Brian, but I have to tell you, Blake is so cute that I think tonight is all about Blake. But what I just said is something of a theme, being a part of our family here in Hatfield Township, especially with this department, this chief and these gentlemen. You're not likely to work with the commissioners all that regularly on a day-to-day basis. You are going to work with these men and women in the back, and they're your family. We're a little bit of your extended family. But the one thing that I've learned over the years that I've been here is that we trust each other, we rely on each other, and when I say those words, it actually means something to each of us. So welcome to our Hatfield Township family. Many years ahead, and congratulations.
The last thing I'll say is what I always end with. Thank you to the Board of Commissioners, a great group of people to give the police department everything that they need and want. I could ask for no more. Fantastic Civil Service Commission headed by Dan Reevy, and the finest police department anywhere that I know of. So thank you for being here.
You stole my thunder. One last item, and that is the chief stole my thunder. I want to publicly thank the Civil Service Commission. These are the three individuals who assist us, who really are in charge of the hiring in particular for our police force. They have a very specific role. They are very good at it. As you can tell from the people who are standing in the back, they dedicate their time as volunteers, and we can't thank them enough for not only the time that they put in, but the fantastic job that they do. Dan Reeby is chairman. Joe McGurman, I think, is here. Joe, thank you. And Jack Hoy, they just, I know that they met just recently. So to the three of you, thank you for everything that you do. We would not have such a fantastic force without you. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, this is the part of the night where everyone escapes the room before we start to do the substantive work of the township. So we'll give you a moment or two to escape. That's fine. We completely understand.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chief really took the show tonight.
Did what?
Stole the show.
Stole the show.
I have a way of doing that.
You and Blake. You and Blake stole the show.
Once I hit my stride, it's over.
I don't think you could beat Larry, though.
Okay, we're going to jump right into committee reports. Our first is Planning and Zoning Committee. Commissioner Rogers.
Thank you. We only have one item tonight, zoning change, public hearing for Pulte Homes. It will be October 24th.
Anything else, Bob?
That's it for tonight. Thank you.
At 7:30. Our solicitor told us to remind everyone that it's at 7:30.
7:30.
All right, we're going to jump right into Public Works Committee. Vice President Hughes.
All right, the leaf pickup was put out for bid for the weeks of October 29th, November 12th, and December 3rd. So the bids came in with Republic Services at $14,162. So I'd like to make a motion that we award that contract to Republic Services.
So moved.
All right, there's a motion by Vice President Hughes, second by Commissioner Rogers. Any questions or comments? All right, hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that motion is approved.
I'd like to add that Public Works went all out to make sure we got the best price on those bids. So, they did a job there.
Great, great. All right, anything else? Okay, Parks and Recreation Committee, Commissioner Thomas.
Thank you, President Zipfel. I want to start off by saying that this past weekend was a very busy one for the Township and the Park and Rec Department. We had a very successful Rocktoberfest on Saturday. We had over 30 vendors, a full car motorcycle show, and a field full of family activities, games, and crafts. We had a lot of people come out, so it was great. Weather could have been a little better, but at least it was warm. We'd like to thank our event sponsor, Vinny's Pizzarama, for serving delicious food options and sponsoring the event, and also to the local Boy Scout troop for providing additional tasty food options. Thanks to all of our sponsors, Vinny's Pizzarama, Harleysville Bank, North Penn VW Mazda, and then we'd also like to thank the AM Radio Tribute Band and DJ Hodgepodge for all the wonderful entertainment they gave us. Sunday, we had the Octo Half Marathon, and that was also successful. We had 250-plus runners, so we'd like to thank the runners, the staff, the volunteers, EMS, fire department, and fantastic sponsors that made this event possible. So you guys will have to join us for next year's race series. Yesterday, we had the Hatfield golf outing that was hosted. It was the 19th annual golf outing. It was hosted at Letter Rock Golf Course with about 100 golfers in attendance. All proceeds from this event will benefit Hatfield Township Parks and Recreation. So I'd like to thank everybody for helping with that as well.
Even though my golf hasn't gotten any better since last year, it was still a very good event.
So some of the other events that we have going on in the Township for Parks and Rec, we have pickleball. It actually started on October 1st. This is a new 12-week session. It's Mondays and Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and then Wednesdays from 12:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. It's at XL Sports World in Hatfield. Residents are $25, non-residents are $40. You can register at hatfieldrec.com. And coming up on Wednesday, October 17th, is our Mini Monster Mania. It's our Halloween event. It's fun for all ages, so you can enjoy a fun-filled night of games, crafts, snacks, prizes, and trick-or-treating. That will be, as I said, on Wednesday, October 17th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. It'll be here in the administration building. You must be pre-registered for this event. It's $5 per child, and you can register at hatfieldrec.com. We have a new thing going, Ready, Set, Medicare. So you can join Del Val Senior Advisors for a free educational event specifically designed to provide you with information needed to make informed decisions about your health care coverages. That's Thursday, November 8th from 2 p.m. to 3:30 here in the administration building. Again, you can pre-register at hatfieldrec.com. And we are going to do our Giving Tree program again this year. So you can visit the administration building to select an ornament from the tree, so it'll be out in the lobby. Each ornament contains a gift request from a local family in need. Return all gifts, new and unwrapped, to the Township building between November 14th and December 12th. And Ashley didn't tell me when they're going to put the tree up. Do you have an idea when they'll put that?
I don't, but one note that I think is important to mention, that Hatfield did win an award for the Giving Tree last year, and the plaque hangs out in the lobby for from the Parks and Rec Society. So we need to point that out, and it will be here soon.
Good. All right, and we have a bus trip coming up. So if you're looking for a great holiday gift for somebody, we're partnering with Upper Gwinnett again, and the upcoming bus trip are Christmas Spectacular, the Radio City Rockettes. That is Tuesday, December 4th in New York City. It's $119 per person for orchestra seating. It includes the bus transportation and show ticket. Registration for our February shows, Wicked and Mean Girls, will be coming soon. You can register there online at hatfieldrec.com. And again, we will have discount ski tickets for, I guess, several of the different resorts in the area. So you can also look at that at hatfield.org. That's all I have.
All right. Very busy. Thank you for that report. All right, public safety, we just have one item, and that is that we're going to ask the Civil Service Commission to commence the process for promotions in new hire, which is consistent with the strategy that we have for the police department. So I believe that they'll be meeting soon to discuss that with the chief. And again, okay, and we thank them for doing that again. So I'm sure we'll hear from the Civil Service Commission soon on their recommendations. Thank you. All right, next is Finance Committee. Commissioner Andrus.
There are just two announcements. One is that the public meeting is next week at 7:30, or I'm sorry, 6:30, for the preliminary budget proposal for 2019. And the budget figures for 2019, take a little bit of the wrapping off and the surprise. Looks like we might have a fifth straight year without a tax increase for Hatfield Township. And that's, we should be reminded of, there's been a lot of investment in the infrastructure in terms of public safety, the infrastructure improvements. We're going to have a little announcement here a little bit, and Park and Rec's programming. So Hatfield's done a very good job in terms of getting projects finished and also while maintaining the tax structure. The final draft of the budget will be presented on November 14th, and the board will consider adoption in December.
Right. Okay, I think we're done with all of our committee reports. We're going to move on to our Township Manager's report. Aaron.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have some good news. So over the years, commissioners, thank you, Commissioner Andrus. Thank you.
I did that?
So, that was for the 5 straight years of no tax increase. That was the celebration. Over the past several years, we've had a lot of buzzwords in this room, such as Williams Kindig House, naturalized basins, other terms that we've heard over and over. How many times have we said the words cowpath or villa? Probably hundreds. Over 15-plus years, the commissioners and the township have understood that this intersection is a real problem. And thankfully, I'm here to announce tonight that because of a recent grant award, Hatfield Township and its commissioners are going to be fixing this intersection next year. So last week, Governor Wolf announced a $1.9 million award to Hatfield Township to realign the intersection at Cowpath and Orvilla. This comes after several moves by the commissioners made over the years. The first was to acquire a gas station on Cowpath. Second was to acquire the 3 homes on Orvilla. There were 174 applications throughout the state. 42 were awarded, and only 4 out of the 16 in the county, in Montgomery County, were awarded as well, and Hatfield was among them. The feedback I received from PennDOT, without question, said that because of the moves the commissioners made over the past few years, especially acquiring all of the right-of-way, working with the homeowners that actually supported, ultimately supported the township buying the homes and realigning the intersection. All of those factors put Hatfield Township up on the list to be awarded. So a lot of special thanks to the commissioners for making some really good moves over the past few years to put us in this position. And now, thankfully, since it was awarded 2 years ago for the design of the intersection, so we're at a position where the design is pretty much done. A few tweaks need to be made in the next few months, but we should be in a position where we bid this project out early 19. Construction could begin as soon as spring of 19. Completion could be done as soon as fall of 19 if everything goes according to the schedule that our township engineer has put together. Now, we all understand how these projects have usually end up taking a lot longer due to weather and other circumstances, so please don't hold me to that, but there is a very good chance that we would reach those milestones. So pretty exciting. We've talked about this too many times, and I know it's important. Over 50 documented accidents over the last 5 years. I've been trapped in that intersection at least 3 times a week. I think we all have. It's been the #1 transportation initiative that we've had in Hatfield Township, and we finally get to accomplish it in 19. So I know the commissioners are excited. I know the residents are excited. I've heard a lot of feedback from a lot of different people. So it's going to be fun to finally see this project happen next year in 2019 for sure. So we appreciate everyone's patience as we worked our way through the process, but we're finally there and we get to celebrate next year. So good news for sure. Just a few things too, commissioners, if you don't mind. I think we have to thank Representative Godshaw and Senator Greenleaf without question. Both Senator Greenleaf and Representative Godshaw will be here in the coming months as they finish out their term. The commissioners are going to recognize and thank them for all the service over the years. Without question, Representative Godshaw went to bat for Hatfield Township. His office is only a block away. He spent a lot of time lobbying for this project, and he was an advocate for us, and he deserves special praise for sure. So we'll make sure we tell him that when he's here. And he was the first to call me when the grants were announced, and he's as excited as anybody because he's been pushing this for a long time too. So we had a lot of partners in Harrisburg working and advocating for Hatfield. We had the local 542 that knocked the homes down as a donation. So this was a great partnership and a great way that we came together as a community to fix a problem. So it's going to be fun next year to see it happen. Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to note one thing there. From day one, getting on the planning commission, we talked about the gas station, and I'm thinking this is crazy, to be honest with you. Commissioner Hughes has really pushed that part of the purchase. I remember every meeting, how are we making out here? I think there was some ground soil things going on and stuff like that, and it was just, you know, when you look back and you think about, was this the right move? You know, certainly the group had the right vision to see what was going on here. Pretty neat to see it come to this point.
I think we also need to thank Aaron and the staff for their diligence with pushing that grant through as well.
And thanks to McMahon and Associates for leading us through the process. And without the application has to make sense first before all the other things that go along. And Anton, we all know, does a fantastic job. And we're talking $5+ million in the last 3 years that Anton has brought into Hatfield Township for public improvement projects. That is significant.
Fantastic.
Recognized.
We all thought we would be celebrating with slides, though. You do have slides, if I'm
I
not
know.
right.
I went slide free.
You're slide-free tonight?
Slide free. Speaks for itself. 9 million.
Clearly, this is a big moment. Just
Good
Or
thing
Al-
the chief stepped up.
Good that you checked. Believe me, I'll make up for it in my budget presentation.
Okay, well, that's, not sure if that's a promise or a threat, but it's something. All right, well, thank you again for all of it, the entire staff, the consultants. You all do a fantastic job. We often tell you, but definitely important to tell you publicly, so thank you. All right, solicitor's report. I'm not sure how you beat that, so, you get it. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's a good way to report it. Citizens' comments.
Good evening all. Dan Reevy, 2299 MacArthur Drive, Hatfield. I'm looking over the agenda and I'm going to work backwards a little bit. Very rarely in politics today you hear the word bipartisan, but another person who played a role in Orvilla Road, it happens to be sitting right here, and former Commissioner Brown. He was on the Montgomery County Transit Authority, and he championed this thing with members of his party, and I think he deserves kudos as well. So we in Hatfield once again lead the political arena when we talk about doing things the right way, the bipartisan way, and in the spirit of doing what's right for our residents. So thank you to the board, especially Commissioner Hughes for his work there. I was going to mention that earlier. Getting the volunteers and him stepping up personally to the plate and making this a reality and cleaning those houses out immediately. Talk about instant gratification. I mean, Larry, kudos to you and to your team. Thank you so much on behalf of 18,000 residents. That is a death trap, that intersection. The sooner it gets fixed, the sooner it's going to benefit everyone. But it truly takes leadership, and again, bipartisan leadership is the best way to go. So on behalf of one grateful resident, I think I speak for the entire township, thank you to everyone involved in that. Secondly, Saturday, I think, was one of my proudest moments as a resident, being asked to volunteer to judge the car show. It was Hatfield Township at its finest. It was his finest hour of the year. And it was led by Aaron and his team, Ashley in the Parks and Rec Department, Commissioner Thomas. I mean, it was great. I'm standing there and I see just everyone having fun. Kids are running around and enjoying life, enjoying the amenities that we all have paid our taxes for and invested in. We have a world-class ball field and soccer and pavilion. Even the restroom was something to be proud of. I mean, you go to some of these other public places, they're filthy. But ours was more than satisfactory. And again, as a resident who spends his very hard tax dollars to this community, it was very, very much appreciated. And I think to a person, they had a blast. And even to the car advocates. I mean, I'm not a car advocate, but how could you not like that, that form? It was great. Walking around and seeing people really had pride in their vehicles and pride in the event. And our staff, Aaron and Ashley, I mean, the police department, I mean, it was great. I mean, people really felt safe, secured, and you forgot about life for 2 hours. And I think was probably the primary objective. So, Aaron, I knew you get a lot of grief, but again, I speak for all the residents here. That was a fantastic event. I wasn't at Sunday. I can't speak for that, but I'm assuming that went well. And again, on Monday, I'm proud that my company was the title sponsor of the golf outing. We're delighted to lend our support in that way. Have had an excellent partnership, McMahon and the township, for many, many years, even before I got here. But the golf outing has become a signature event as well, and a critical fundraiser for the Parks and Rec Department. And it was a terrific day. So again, kudos for that. I noticed, again, when you talk about taxes and budgets, it was music to my ears that our township officials are looking at a zero tax increase for 2019. Things are still a tad tough out there, and I'm glad to see that we all have our eyes on the fiscal bottom line of this township, and it's being well run and it's reflective of your leadership. So thank you so very much for that, and I'll yield the floor to anyone else here tonight. But congratulations, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan. Welcome back, Commissioner Brown.
Scott Brown, 2177 Rebecca Drive. Probably one of the few mistakes I've made in my life is falling Dan Reevy to the to the microphone. He covered the agenda. But speaking for the residents of Rebecca Drive, especially my neighbor Joe McGurman, we're so happy about the paving job that was done. Terrific, much better than the last time. So it's great for bicycling. The water people were in there, the sewer people were in there, and happy about that. And then on Sunday, the Octo Run, you made it back. The runner made it back. Yay! You didn't at the 4 mile mark. You didn't look so great, but
Seen me at 13.
that was a terrific event, and I'm still flying high for the golf event. So thanks. It's good to be back. And as Hanrahan said, when you hang out around this place and you leave, you miss the people. So that's sort of my status right now. So congratulations and best wishes.
Thank you, Scott. All right. Any other? We have a couple of people. Nope. Anyone else coming up for citizens' comments? While this gentleman's coming up to the podium, I want to thank Tina and Bob for yet again volunteering at the race. There's got to be, you must own some kind of Hatfield Township streak for volunteerism when it comes to all of our runs. And even if you don't, we're giving it to you. So thank you for, we're recognizing you for having the logger streak. So thank you for doing that every time. It's great. Great. Better. Well, the few times,
promotion, huh?
the times that I've run these races, you guys are both always smiling as I painfully trot my way through. So, I don't know about that. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Andrew Soboleski. I live at 2629 East Vine Street, Hatfield Township. Before I get to this, I'd like to congratulate everybody on the board for that cow path in our villa accomplishment. It's a great job. I dread going through that 4 times a day, going back and forth to work. I'd also like to congratulate the chief. He had an outstanding, very professional staff here tonight. I've had contact with them, wonderful bunch of guys and girls, and they're a direct reflection of your leadership. I'm having a problem with the Hatfield Township Municipal Authority sewer bill. Back in beginning of the year, for some reason, I don't know why, I didn't pay my bill. I was paying it all along. I missed one payment. In April, I received a 2-month bill, and I paid it in full on April 3rd. I went to them and let them know I messed up, and I'm not sure what it was. And at that point, the person behind the desk, who wasn't very nice, informed me that there was a lien on my house, even though I just paid it in full. So at that point, I took it to one of the commissioners up on the board. And this commissioner is very helpful. He's always had his hand out. He's always helped in the past. Unfortunately, he was given the same answer. They were not going to remove the lien, even though the bill was paid. Since then, I've received 4 erroneous bills. I have made over $700 in payments. I have a credit for $423 and a lien on my house. I'm wondering if someone can help me. Last Monday, after I paid the 4th erroneous bill, I received a letter from them. I have a copy for each and every one of you to read.
Sure, you can hand them out.
As you can see from the letter I received, showing all the payments, I received this bill in the mail, statement of account, and it says in handwriting on a postie, "Please be advised that you have a credit on your account. There is no payment due for the fourth quarter. You will still receive a sewer bill, but there's no reason to submit payment. Sincerely," and the person signed her name. I don't know who that person is. But what I will tell you is, I went there about 4 or 5 months ago, and I asked to have the lien removed. I was told that the person who could handle that was on vacation. I'd have to call back in a week. It's a nightmare over there. I asked the person, I'm sorry, I didn't go over there that time I called. I asked that person if their only job was to answer phones. Why one person could not do another person's job when they're out sick or passed away or whatever they did. And I was reminded of the lien at that time, at which they hung up. I don't know what the problem is over there, but I received, after the bill was paid in full on April 3rd, 2 days after I received the bill, I received a bill in June, which I paid for $211, even though I didn't know it. I received a bill July 6th, week and a half later, for $99, which was the regular bill, which I didn't know. And then September 17th, I paid another bill, which I received for $212, even though I had a surplus of $211. So as you can see, I had $310 in bill for the year. I paid $734.46, and I have a surplus of $423.73 and a lien on my house. I'm not sure what's wrong with the system, but I'm bringing it to your attention. If someone can help me, I'm not sure how to fix this.
That's okay. Before you jump in, though, let me just ask a kind of a factual question. When you say, okay, I've overpaid,
Yeah.
which clearly you have, I mean, it's even not only in the account summary, but it's also in writing here. What response did you get as to why they will not remove the lien? Has anyone told you why? Or have
Told
they?
me I have to pay to have it removed, even though it's not valid. It's not correct.
Understood.
I believe that's what they told the commissioner also.
Okay.
Did you get a notice that your bill was past due, or did you have to wait for the next bill to come in?
I had to wait for the next bill to come.
That's when you saw that you hadn't paid the first one.
That's correct, sir. What happened was, I'm not sure what happened in January or February. I don't know, snowstorm, whatever. I missed it. But I paid it in full as soon as I got it in April, on April 3rd. My father passed away in May, so I didn't have time to deal with this, okay? I just kept paying the bills. Personally, I think that the reason they were sending me the erroneous bills was to justify not taking the lien off. Aha, he didn't pay the bill, even though it was erroneous. I don't know. All I know is I kept getting the bills. In good faith, I kept paying it. I think that a remedy to this, at the very least, would be to return the $423.73. At this point, I don't care. I just want the lien off the house. I think I'm paid up for the next year or two. But I got a lien on my house. I mean, I'm sorry to repeat that.
No,
I'm very frustrated.
Understood. Very much
May I,
so.
Mr. President?
Sure.
See if I can lend a hand. Thank you for bringing a copy of this invoice, because my office has been getting numerous calls, because our phone number is on here, from people like you who are confused, and no one was able to forward me a copy of what they were looking at. So having this now, I now understand what has gone on. These statements of account have been going out, and we've been getting phone calls. Let me start by saying that I'm going to take care of this tomorrow, okay, and make sure that your lien is removed. I can tell you that liens are automatic with the authority. By law, they arise even without a filing the day after they're due. So they are perfected by a filing against your property, and there's a fee. That's why it's not being removed, because they have to collect a fee. The fee is nominal. It's like $14.50 or $20 or something, but that's a separate fee that's charged that needs to be sent with the satisfaction of the lien. So that's the holdup, but I'll figure all that out for you, Mr. Sobolewski.
Thank you, and you can take the $14 out of the balance.
I thought that that might work for you.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
if on your way out, you could give me your phone number, I can contact you tomorrow and let you know what's happened, and we'll see about getting the lien off and getting you a refund for your overpayment.
I will. I love Hatfield Township. I'm one of the Philly guys that came up. I raised my son here. You know, when he was 6 months old, I moved up here. It's a wonderful place to live. I'm really, really happy. My father just passed away in Harleysville, and I was going to go over there, and no, I like being here in Hatfield. I work for the school district. I love it. We have everyone up here does a wonderful job. I enjoy coming over here. I really don't want to complain. I normally just sit in the back and listen. But the Orvilla and Calpath, wow, that was big. Because I read every month we get the newsletters. And I read, I care. I was a baseball coach, Little League, you know, when we first came up. We won the championship that year, too. It was great. But anyway, thank you for everyone's time, and thank you for all your help. I knew that you guys and girls would come through. Thank you.
All right, thank you for coming up. We appreciate it. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you had something. All right, any other citizens' comments? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Andrus. All in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thanks for coming out, folks.